right. It's nice to be back. It's nice to be back. Who saw me last time I came? Let me just show of hand. Okay. Please show those hands. It gives me perspective when I'm speaking, so I know, okay, all right, just about 25%. So I just want to honor your bishop, Sarah. This is not formality. This is not a job for me, it's a calling. When I knew that we're going to be doing a lot of work in Jamaica, I needed to be connected with a church. I needed to be connected with a mentor, somebody who not just knows the ground, but somebody who was in trouble. I can't hang with you if you've not been in trouble. So his message, it sounds funny, but it's true. His message is something I'm just going to build on. We all heard the message, righteousness and justice is the foundations of a strong. My fear, and I hope that fear goes away today, my fear is some people will still live here and witness injustice and do nothing about it. That's my fear. It's my fear. Thanks for putting up the slide. I have just a few minutes, so before I do that, I want to read a letter that I wrote to us, Christians. A letter I wrote to us, Christians. It's been keeping me awake at night. If something's not keeping you awake at night that concerns other people and it's only your bills, then you'll be shutting your sleep. But if you keep awake at night for injustice and issues of the society, for those who know me, and you can Google me later, I'm more for national transformation. I believe that cars and homes and vacation and all those things some people pray for are beneficiaries of when you're pursuing your purpose in life. But if you pursue things at the expense of your purpose, those things are not sustainable. Am I talking to somebody today? Thank you. Oh, I can see you, Winsome. Oh, my God. Nice to see you, Winsome, and your mother. Good. So, listen, don't confuse what you do for a living with what you were created to do. What you do for a living is meant to pay the bills. What you were created to do is meant to take money from what you get to your profession and put it out. I tell people, I say, purpose is a beast, hungry beast. If you are not ready to die for it, you'll never find it. Is anybody under 18 spiritually leave the room? This is mature class. Can I speak maturely? Oh, only two people. Come, those two people. Let's just have a kumbaya here. Can I speak maturely here? Please. Can I speak? Good. My belief is this. If you die without fulfilling your purpose, death has won over you. The only way to conquer death is to live a life of purpose. A life of purpose lives on. A life of self dies with you. These are hardcore, and I know I'm in the right place, because if you can take what Bishop can give you, you certainly can take mine for dessert. You see, one of the most unfortunate things in the world today is that many Christians have lost their identity. When you meet them, who are you? He says, my name is Paul. What do you do? I work for, I don't know, Sagiko. What's your purpose? They smile. You've been worshiping God for so long and you don't know your purpose. Your purpose should be the one that drives you to God. They wake up every morning grumbling because of the enslavement at work. Because many feel trapped in a job they detest. Working for a boss who torments you, colleagues who hate you. And literally, it's like the situation of Pharaoh and the Israelites in Egypt. The pay is not enough. You complain the pay is not enough. The boss don't like you. You don't like the place. You wake up every morning complaining. Do you know complaint shortens your lifespan? Literally. This is not hyperbole. This is a fact. 3 things that will increase your lifespan. You don't need to pray and fast over this one. Stop complaining, stop blaming, stop making excuses. That will automatically add 15 years to your life. Go do your... Yeah, yes. If you stop complaining, stop blaming, stop making excuses, you add 15 years to your life. If you want to add to your fulfillment index, to your happiness index, always say thank you, even for what's inconsequential. Always say please, even for nothing that matters. And if you don't say sorry in a day, you have no right sleeping at night. If you can't find something to apologize for in 24 hours, you don't deserve sleep. You still love me, guys? If you can take Bishop, you can take this one. Am I talking to somebody? That's 20%. Am I talking to somebody? That's 40. Am I talking to somebody? Let me give you another nugget. When you don't respond, you can't partake in the benefit of what's being said. You live here, they say a prayer, you never say amen, and you wonder why you had a terrible week. If you can't respond to a question that you're hearing so loudly, how could you respond to injustice that doesn't speak? How could you respond to unrighteousness that don't have a face? Am I talking to somebody? Some are looking at me as if I'm speaking Chinese. How are you going to respond to injustice when you can't respond to a simple question? Besides the insufficient salary, many people dread the work because of the systems and colleagues who are suppressive to the truth, deceptive in demeanor, and obstructive in their belief. Many of us read the Bible inside out, but unable to translate the wisdom to action. We confess being created in the image and likeness of God, but live as discarded parts in a production factory. We confess being the head and not the tail, but run away from anything that has to do with leadership. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. We say in church, when we leave, we profess lack for the rest of the day. I fear no evil, they chant. But due to fear and doubt, they've done nothing about their dreams. Under the pretext of piety, they have settled for mediocrity to the disgust of unbelievers who seem to be on a narrow road more than Christians who should have been on that road. They know miracles are not for sale, but quick to contribute funds to false prophets than spend a dime in personal development. Some pray and fast with all due humility, but do nothing about the deeds that must complement the faith for anything to happen. Based on the powerlessness of many Christians today, the discouraging, downcast attitude devoid of energy and passion and tenacity required to expand the kingdom, Christians are now they may be likened to early disciples who went back fishing when Jesus was crucified. Have you gone back fishing? Have you gone back fishing? Have you gone back fishing? We are aware of God's declaration that we are more than conquerors, but continue to harbor the mindset of victims. The behavior that is understandably demonstrated by those who've been conquered. We are being held back by doubt, fear, worry, laziness. Many Christians are unaware of their purpose. Many are perishing for lack of vision, but yet acquiring educational degrees. You love school too much. Everybody I meet has a master's and a PhD. They don't know their purpose. I'm telling you the truth. PhD can't get you to say, welcome home with and save a faithful servant. PhD is supposed to help you in the fulfillment of your purpose. The School of Greatness, they just showed. We have students with 2 PhD. Even the class that just graduated, we have one doing PhD. She may even be here, a fine woman. But she's so excited. She even sent me a message last night. Super excited to have gone through our school. Our school of greatness is very simple. Sorry, put up the slide. The slide are for those who would like to see. I'm already ahead of that slide. Just go on. Yeah, go back just a bit. I know I said I have to say this. I know Bishop read some fancy accolades. I'm nobody. Just simply somebody that got saved on the way to Damascus. If you want my stories, my book, Welcome to Greatness, when I was bad, I was the best bad. There was nobody badder than me. When people talk about being saved, I was saved. Saved from death, from destruction, from demise. Somebody invited you to church, you gave your life to Christ, and you still remain the same. I don't want to say you are not saved, it's not my place, but you should ask yourself if you were. I was saved. So I'm simply, as Paul says, I'm the least of the apostle. Dr. Peter Morgan, you guys may know him. I don't know, you call him Papi. It was Miles Morrow's colleague in ministry. They consecrated me as an apostle, so I have that. But I don't put that. If you go on my Facebook, you probably won't even see it, because I'm not concerned about the title. Leadership has nothing to do with title. Sometimes title limits you. If I say I'm an apostle, the banks won't call me to come and speak to them. So I just use my name, Alex Ihama. All right, so move on quickly. Next slide. Yeah, so here's what all I've been saying. All I've been saying is, if you say here's a paper today, what's your prayer request? Guarantee, except for those who've been through my program, guarantee that what you're going to put on that paper is only going to be speaking to what? Winsome to what? Satisfaction. We are seeking satisfaction at the expense of fulfillment. Some don't even know the difference. Satisfaction is physical, fulfillment is eternal. Satisfaction is tangible, fulfillment is intangible. Righteousness and justice is fulfillment. Somebody picked me in a nice car yesterday. That one is satisfaction. Even though this car was nice. So in our school, in the regular school, they teach you how to achieve satisfaction. In the School of Greatness, we teach you how to achieve fulfillment. And fulfillment begins with your purpose, no matter who you are. No matter who you are. If you don't know your purpose, you don't exist. Death wins when we fail to fulfill our purpose. Next slide, quickly. Next slide. So what we do in the School of Greatness is really, as I said, help you to discover and maximize your purpose, magnify your brand, and monetize your vision, your passion, and your talent. A lot of people, I speak to them all the time, right? The reason you have your job is because you have a skill that the job needs. The moment they don't need a skill, the moment the technology comes out, I was listening to yesterday on TV to an interview with the head of Microsoft, the guy who's the president. And he says, they were asking him some questions, and he said something. I was just skipping on my bed. I'm like, wow. He says, people think I'm concerned about the next version of Microsoft. You see, I'm concerned that in the next 10 years, 80% of the job you guys do is going to be artificial intelligence. He says, so here's what he said, we are about to give the power of decision making to machines. We are about, come on, if you are not troubled by that, that means machine decides for you now. Machine decides what the grocery store says, the clothes they sell, the school everything. Literally, we are just about to become a robot. Man, not me. Not me. I am not going to be succumbed to machines. But if you don't know what's going on, you will be succumbed to machine. Next slide, quickly. I don't know if they can see that. Can you see that? Can you see it properly? Yeah, you need to really look at. How many things are on that list that you're struggling with, but yet don't know nothing about? Anybody have at least one on that list? If you have one on that list, just wave. If your hand is not up, then you have all of them on your list. Because in the summit yesterday, some put two hands and put two legs and they wanted to skip on the table. Where do you go to learn how to beat procrastination? Where do you go to learn how to beat fear, how to conquer fear? These are the things we teach completely. We have courses on this. And by the way, I think I can say this. We are working to partner with Whole Life College to have these courses available to you. You should be clapping. You should be clapping. I don't know if Rachel is here, but Rachel is another fantastic woman. Can you put on that slide, please? The next one. Look at them. Look at them. If you know somebody on that, just clap. Just clap for that person. If you know one person on it, it's worth clapping for. These are the ladies that graduated yesterday or the day before yesterday on Friday. And they've been through the program. Next slide, please. So, and the next session begins soon. So you can speak to Rachel or anybody you know on that, or to me later on, and then we can talk about that. So I have told you, next slide, I have shared my heart on what our deepest problem is. Say, deepest problem. You know, when I read the letter, despite thousands of Sunday and midweek services, thousands, because there's 52 weeks in a month, in a distance, you've been to prayer meeting, fasting meeting, you've been to all of them. Despite that, and church conferences and disciple classes, the mentality of a slave that Christ came to save us from remains the status quo of Christians. You've been saved. Dude, man, nobody has power over you. He said, I've even given you the power to tread upon lions and scorpions. Come on, somebody. Yeah. Are you hearing me? Should I speak patois? Wagwa? Do you even know the power you have? I'm not saying this for me, believe me. I'm not here to impress nobody. I'm here to impress upon you. I go in a nation and I had to meet the president. They ask me if I have an appointment. Appointments are for those who frankly don't even know their power. And I have never been turned down in any nation. When he's not in, they make me meet the vice president, the Senate, anybody, governor. I can go in the state. It works. I learned that from my Moro. So if you know who you are, you don't take no for what you know God. It says the steps of a righteous man is ordered by God. Am I stupid? I know where I want to see the president. Some of you, Alex, help me. I've not had promotion in 10 years. I say, who's your boss? They say, okay, let's say David. I say, who's David's boss? I think it's Paul. If you don't know your boss's boss, you are not worthy of promotion. Because it's not your boss that promotes, it's his boss that approves. Guys, today is Transformation Sunday. Tell somebody, say, today is Transformation Sunday. Tell somebody, today is Transformation Sunday. When you walk into your office tomorrow, if there's any demon there, they should say, what do you want from us, Holy One? Literally, they should say it. Am I talking to somebody over here? All right. Next slide. Just a few minutes. So I don't have time for all this. Maybe the next session, the next service, I have more time. But I really want to help you understand what it means to walk, to be in the kingdom. The difference, what confuses man, what confuses Christians, and even some pastors, is they have confused spirituality with religiosity. Different. Religion cannot get you into the kingdom. That's why the Pharisees were called a brood of vipers. And I really hope we don't have a brood of viper here. If you think you are or you feel you are, I'll be so honored to have a one-on-one with you and help you to move from religiosity to spirituality so we can welcome you into the kingdom. Spirituality is by faith, religion is by sight. Spirituality is a mindset, religion is a skill set. Spirituality is a culture, religion is a tradition. Spirituality is practiced, religion is demonstrated. Spirituality is personalized, religion is institutionalized. Spirituality cannot be eradicated. Look at me, you just look at home, you want to test me if I can smoke ganja, or you want to test me and say, here's a beautiful woman to sleep with. Like, I'm not even in the space. Am I talking to some people over there? Spirituality is for you to be. Religion is for the world to see. Spirituality is empowering. Religion is disempowering. Spirituality is strictly love. Religion can be hateful. Slavery and those things that happen, religion caused it. They took one simple verse in the Bible and ran with it. That's religion. If Jesus was walking the earth, he would have called them, you brood of vipers. Spirituality is strictly love. Religion can be hateful. Spirituality is embodied. Religion is a body. Spirituality is holistic. Religion is ritualistic. Spirituality is internal. Religion is external. The world bows when they feel spirituality, even now. The reason the world don't bow for us no more, because they see a lot of religion. Hello, I want to invite you to my church. If that's the first thing you are telling somebody to share your faith, you need to go to discipleship 101. Jesus did not see the woman at the well and say, hello, I want you to come with me and let's come to my church. If we don't dialogue no more. Hey, how you doing? How's your family? How many children do you have? Go around at work, ask them. They'll be excited that you care. How many kids? Wow. You have a son who plays soccer? Wow, my son plays soccer too. You start connecting. One day they will come and meet you in the lunchroom crying to you, begging for help. But hey, you want to come to my church? Every time you ask them, you create a gap. That's religion. That's religion. That's religion. Just one more. Put on the other slide. Put on the other. No, go back. Yes, that one. I'm going to read something to you, and I think I'll be done here because I have other stuff, but if I get into it, I may not get through it. Listen to this. Exactly 5 years ago yesterday, I lost my papa. Exactly 5 years ago. I'm going to use my last minute to honor him now. At a certain point in my life, I know I needed a mentor, a global guide, somebody who was already doing on a massive scale the dream I had so dear in my heart. The Holy Spirit led me to Dr. Miles Monroe. I watched all his videos and ordered 21 books. And they all arrived on the same day, delivered by UPS. The more I read his books and watched his videos, the more it was clear, this is the one. Tell somebody, say, this is the one. I bought a vacation package and I hurried to the Bahamas. I was the first to arrive at his church 2 hours before service. I was in a taxi. I told him I'll pay him anything, keep me in that taxi. I said, he's a busy man, he may not be here. When the church opened, I walked straight to the man who was opening the gates. I said, is Dr. Miles Monroe in town? He didn't look in my eyes. He said, yeah. And I tapped him on the shoulder. I said, look me dead in the eye and confirm that. I'm not a tourist who's here to take an opportunity. I've come all the way from Toronto, Canada to meet him. I'm on a mission. Then he looked from my eyes. He could see that this was not just a simple question. Then he looked in the sky thinking. He said, yes. Then he spoke in their accent. Yeah, Papa Mike is in town. Yeah. I said, good. Taxi, here's the money. You go. And they took me to sit exactly behind where he was going to sit. And after service, I was the first in line in his front. The moment they said, amen, when he opened his eyes, I was 0 to 60. You know exactly what I'm talking about? Absolutely. When he opened his eyes, he was actually shocked to see me that close in his face. I did not care. I was a man, and I'm still a man on a mission. If you are shy, some people, we talked about it in the car. There were some people that came to the summit on Friday. They've been wanting to meet me. And they came and they left because they said they could not meet me. You remember we were just having a conversation. And we were asking, is that a culture here where you are not forceful for what is yours? If I come to meet any of you, they say you came for 7 o'clock service. I'm coming back. Believe me, I will see you. Except you were doing it as a joke. It says the steps. After everybody left the church, here's what he said. I opened my bag and I showed him his 21 books that I have read. And then I gave him a copy of mine. And I looked in his eye. I said, I know you're a very busy man. I'm not here to waste time or anything. I want you to be my mentor. I want you to take me under your wings. What you do, I dream about every single day. He looked at me and he said, walk with me. And by now the lineup was out the door. And as they are greeting him, he'll be introducing me. He doesn't even know me. He said, meet this man, Greatness. He wrote a book, Greatness, from Canada. Meet this man, Greatness. He's introducing me to people who came to meet him. And he did that with everybody until he got to the end. And his driver went to bring his car. There was nobody in the church, just him, me, and the people that were waiting for us to leave so they can clean. He got in his Jaguar. He told him, he said, bring this man to my house. I need to have lunch with him. He took me to his house. I met his wife, met his kids, met his dad. I was like, you see, when I tell you, like, there's nobody I want to see I can't. Before him, I thought John Maxwell was the person that God was leading me to. I bought a ticket and flew to Atlanta. I walked into his office, and they told me that he has 2 offices. I'm in the wrong one. I said, give me the right address. That afternoon, I had lunch in his house with his family and friends and learned a lot from him in 5 days that I spent in the Bahamas. Before I left, he told me sacred things that continue to unfold in my life today. Prophecies I hold dear and I cherish strong. One of the things he said is that is still driving my ministry today. By reading this, there's information for you. This is not, don't listen to it as a story. Listen to it as a lesson. One of the things he told me that is still driving my ministry today is that I must never settle for one country. Who's ever told you that? Don't settle for one country. You mean Canada, the second largest country in the world, I shouldn't settle for it? No. Some of you, there are people that are tied to your destiny in Trinidad, but you've never crossed the border. Don't settle for one country, said. Take nations. He also told me that our mandate, included me in our. He says, and we are all our here. Our mandate as kingdom ambassadors is to expand the kingdom of God to nations worldwide. He also said that until we start to take our purpose seriously, life will not take us seriously. that only the fulfillment of purpose will determine if we lived at all. We had a great relationship to the extent that 9 days before he passed on, he sent me a message from Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. He was in Africa. He was flying back to the Bahamas, the flight that he never really made. And he said, "Greetings, Alex, from Dar es Salaam, Tanzania." I still have that message. He says, "Ensure to meet me at Freeport." And I responded to him. I said, "Papa," I said, "I have an engagement with a big bank in Canada. It's something that's been booked for too long. I can't." I said, "But rest assured, once it's done, I will still come and see you, only to be called on the fateful night 5 years ago by a pastor friend in Washington, that Papa Miles, as we call him, has passed on with his lovely wife, Ruth, devoted partner Richard Pinder, his youth minister, the youth minister's wife who was pregnant. They all passed on. Today, that was yesterday, we celebrate one of the greatest leaders to have ever lived, someone who made time for everyone. This is all in line with what your bishop was preaching already this morning. Despite his daunting schedule, he always answered my phone call and gave me advice without ever being overbearing. There were times I called him, he was sleeping. I'm like, "Oh, sorry, I woke you up." He says, "Yeah, I'm in Europe, time difference." I said, "Okay, fine, I'll call you back." He said, "No, you've called me now. What is it?" Those were leadership principles that are rare. Those leadership principles. Someone who was never carried away by wealth and fame, by influence or affluence, but determined beyond reasonable doubt to transform nations and inspire everyone to become an agent of change. From sleeping on the mat in the poorest neighborhood in the Bahamas to flying his own jet and coaching presidents and kings, Papa Miles was the last to leave his church and made it time for everyone everywhere with an unparalleled belief that everyone has a purpose and is meant to be lived into a legacy. Why you will find most of his leadership principles in my book, The Mystic of Leadership. Please join me to celebrate the legacy of this exemplary, legendary leader, his royal wife, and those God decided to call with him. God gave an entourage when he was entering the kingdom. God gave him an entourage when he was entering the kingdom. There are some people, and they are here today. You are so great. There's the seed of greatness in you. It's secure. Satan tried to take it. Your mother even tried to abort you. You don't even know. And here you are today. You are still searching for your dad when you have a real father who cares and loves you. You are holding on to a pain that was caused by the agent of evil. When Jesus Christ himself is stretching a hand of fellowship towards you. Let go the pain, because in your pain is your purpose. What we've taught these fine young women is how to transform their pain to gains. I have made so much impact, influence, and income from my pain. When they were beating me and telling me, "You talk too much, shut up," to the extent I thought shut up was my middle name. Today, I tell them, "You know how much I get paid to talk now? Do you know people, places I have talked now? Do you know the list? I have invitations to Pakistan, to Bangladesh. I have invitations to country I may never reach. Why? Just to come and talk." My parents beat the hell out of me. Teachers beat the hell out of me. One said, "Look at you. Nothing good will come out of you." One looked at me, looked at my dad, looked at me, looked at my dad. He says, "How can God, who you so much serve, give you, such a fine man, this terrible care?" They wrote me off. God writes no one off. I say, God writes no one off. The man that left you was meant to not hinder you from where you're going. The woman you've been pursuing and is not responding, perhaps is a hiccup in your purpose. If you can only go down on your knees and say, God, I want to thank you for putting me through that terrible ordeal. Thank him for the pain. Thank him for the suffering. Thank him for the betrayal. Thank him. Thank him for what he's taking you through. Until you can thank him, you cannot see what he has for you. They lied when they say the light is at the end of the tunnel. The light is not. You are the light of the world. And if you don't get to the end of the tunnel, there will be no light. You've been raised up for such a time as this. To shatter boundaries. To prove people wrong. To stand up for the Most High. To speak against injustice. You were raised up for such a time as this. To represent God. Don't be tied in the evil and the menace of your parents. The ignorance of your guardians. That sexual abuse cannot be replaced. But what I can tell you though, it says everything works for good. Even that, yes, it works for good. But until you can bring it to light, you can never shine. I see kings and queens here. And I only wonder if you see yourself as such. God bless you.